as well. There's two. There's one that's just crossing 61, and then also one just to the southeast of Forest Lake.
Oh, I wish they could move this.
I know, they were moving it before.
Yeah, I wish they could move it a little bit and zoom in on that. Now it's lifted. The tornado has lifted off the ground. It is still a rotating wall cloud.
Dave, I don't know if you saw, but it certainly looked to me like for just a moment there was a little debris coming.
It touched down,
yeah,
for sure. It's just a matter of where exactly that was. But boy, I wish I could get a handle on, to me it almost looks like it's moving to the left.
It does.
And that would be the wrong direction.
To the northeast.
But if that's County Road 14, that's right between Centerville and Hugo.
Yeah.
County Road 14 is right on 35E south of, this is 35W and County Road 14. This has got to be the storm that's right up around Forest Lake.
It is. This is, yeah. This is a good 10 miles north of Hugo.
Yeah. So it's up there around Forest Lake and has just crossed, because it's 35W and not 35E. So 35W and County Road 14, we are looking at that storm system that's now south of Forest Lake. A little bit of a debris cloud as well, but there it is touching ground and possibly producing some damage southeast of Forest Lake, which we haven't had time to actually, there's a debris cloud. There's definitely a debris cloud with that as it touched down there. Was briefly down, then it lifted back up, and we never actually saw it touch down again after it pushed. There's 35W that you can see there, and this is all south and east of Forest Lake. Looking toward the south, looking toward the Hugo area, but apparently it was north of Hugo. So it didn't actually go through the Hugo area as far as we know. Right, and we had heard a report from law enforcement around Logan and 29th. That's also in North Minneapolis. Yes, Gus?
And we're also hearing a lot of customers. Crash. You can look over and show you his perspective. A crash on that bus shelter right there on the corner of North Plymouth Avenue and North Upton Avenue. Right now, people are coming out, assessing the situation. Pieces of people's fence, their roofs. But right now, we're being told that there are no injuries in this area right now. A lot of destruction. Fire department is here basically trying to tell people to stay away from the power lines. There are power lines almost every 5 or 6 feet. Either way you decide to walk here in this area. Right now, we do have a lot of citizens going into that apartment building where we told you that people were blocked inside, checking on the welfare of people. Once again, the spirit of people here in North Minneapolis because of this storm.
Time to time, but once again, just giving you sort of all of these updates from the different areas that we have our reporters out at, and of course all of the storm spotters that we've been able to talk with. And as you hear those beeps behind me, Ian's on top of, what, do we have another warning?
Got another tornado warning. Just popped, Heidi, for, you know, it seems to be a repetition here. These storms, they dissipate and then they come back. You're looking live at Storm
just after that. So that was the first tornado. This is now a separate tornado that we're looking at moving into the, that's in the southern part of Chisago County, moving right in the city of Lindstrom right now. Just minutes ago, we did have a report of a tornado on the ground. So folks in Lindstrom, you got to take shelter, get in a basement or the lowest level of whatever building you're in, away from any windows, under a table, something sturdy, because you just heard Kyle say the similar storm that had produced a tornado just an hour ago, knocking down trees, blowing out windows in North Minneapolis. We don't have any reports of injuries, but that just means we haven't heard of any yet. But we definitely have lots.
Yes, we just built the shed and the fence and all that this summer, last summer, and now it's all gone. I got a Mercedes truck in the garage, it's totaled. I mean, it's all gone.
How terrible.
Jessica.
If you can hear me, this is Jessica. People, I would imagine, are out and about walking around now. Any reports of any injuries, because that damage, as you said, and you can see it, is substantial. Tim, are you still with us?
Ken,
Okay.
Ken, we have Chopper 5 up. Ken Melchior. Ken, do you see this path of damage there through Minneapolis?
We just arrived on the scene, and as I flew over the top of it, yes, it is definitely a distinctive damage path. And it's quite substantial. There are numerous homes with roof damage. When I mean roof damage, not just shingles, holes. Like a quarter of the roof is gone. There is debris scattered everywhere. Apartment buildings with roofs missing as well. There's emergency crews all over Broadway right now, and it is, they've got some of it cordoned off and blocked. I can count 1, 2, 3, 4. There's got to be 20 EMS paramedic units staged here. They must be anticipating reports of injuries in the area. It's fairly widespread, Dave. Back to you.
This does look bad, Ken. Ken, can you kind of guesstimate how wide this path was? Tim said maybe 300 yards.
That's a good estimate from what I'm seeing right now. I can see the debris field extends at least 1 city block wide. We're going to look at that a little bit closer.
When you see pieces like this of homes, it's almost a definite indication this was a tornado. I mean, when you see splinters and pieces like this, it's not like straight line winds. What's your indication? I mean, it does look like a tornado, correct?
Dave, I'd say this is consistent with the damage that you would see in a tornado. Normally in straight line winds, it's very, as we both know, it's very localized, and it's a strict downburst. Looking further now, Dave, just as I looked up outside the cockpit, I can see off in the distance, this is definitely a tornado. The damage path extends all the way down from Broadway, it looks like northeast up across the Mississippi River. This is definitely a tornado, Dave. This is extensive damage out here.
Wow.
I'll get back to you in just a minute. I have to talk to air traffic control.
Okay, thank you. Thanks, Ken.
Did you notice in one of those trees that was toppled over, it was, I mean, there were no leaves on it. We don't know if the tree was previously dead, but boy, it certainly looked like the leaves were taken right off that thing.
Yeah, either that or, when you don't have leaves on a tree and it gets blown down, it's indication that it was pretty dramatic. That, as Ken said, when he's looking at that damage path, it's pretty extensive, so it probably was a tornado.
I mean, it essentially looked like the trees have been yanked up from the ground, not just pushed over. You can actually see the root structure pulled up and toppled on some of those homes.
It's just, boy, and when you hear Ken talking about an extensive, he's seen a lot of damage from a helicopter, and when he says it's extensive damage.
You can tell just by looking at these live pictures from Chopper 5 right now, which is over North Minneapolis. This is kind of the camping area. They were talking about Broadway on up northeast over the river, and talking about a 300-yard path of damage. That's just a guesstimate.
That says almost quarter-mile wide, and lengthwise, he said it goes all the way to the Mississippi River. So you're talking just an extensive amount of damage. And no reports of injuries, though, that we've heard yet.
At this point.
Yeah, not that we've heard.
And Captain Ken, as you mentioned, who has seen a lot of these, and he's always been on the erred on the side of caution. We're going to wait for the surveys crews to go out there. He said without a doubt, this was a tornado.
Ken, this is really extensive damage. That is some nasty-looking damage there.
Yes, well, I'm back with you now, guys. I've had a chance to survey it a little further. I'm going to extend the damage track all the way down to just north of 394, cutting a swath northeast. Now, you'll have to look at this on the map, but northeast to the Mississippi River. I'm trying to get an idea of about the distance. It may have even crossed the river. I'll have to fly up there and check it out, but Dave, this one had some wallop to it. There is a lot of damage here, a lot. I haven't seen a tornado cut through the metropolitan area like this for some time.
Wow.
Back to you.
That is it's extensive damage. Ken, the first report that we had when we went on was about 216 that occurred right around 394 and Highway 100. So it's kind of matching up with what
at 394. It's just that right now we're flying around right in the middle of the path, and I'm just eyeballing it north and south to see about how far it went. But the first estimates here, I would say it started on the north side of 394, and as we are flying a northeast track up towards the Mississippi River and Highway 90 and Interstate 94, I can't tell if it continued on crossing the river. I think it stopped at the river. However, it looks like, I'm not sure, but it looks like 94 is closed. I-94 is closed.
Wow.
I see no traffic south of businesses that are located on Broadway. We've seen damage at some schools, churches, and there was nothing was excluded from here. If it was in the way, it got clobbered, but the majority of the damage at this time, from what we've been able to survey, is residential. Back to you.
Look at that.
Yeah, that's incredible.
That looks like an apartment complex. The top is gone.
Top floor is gone, or the roof. Yeah, that's...
You
Dave?
can see a lazy
Yes,
boy chair
Ken.
sitting in there.
I'm starting to see some things here now that somewhere around the middle of it, we may even have to elevate that. This thing picked up some speed that at moments show characteristics of possibly even an EF3.
Yeah, that would be extensive. That would, have wind speeds up there about 170 miles an hour or greater,
Dave,
180.
How fast would it have been going when it moved through this area? Just for the people on
It was moving at about 30 miles an hour.
Okay.
So, anybody that, and apparently the sirens, the National Weather Service did a very good job because they did get the warnings out.
Today, you certainly hope those reports don't come in.
Yeah, and I'm hoping.
I gotta ask you though, you say this, that the Weather Service got those warnings out early, but I even talked to you shortly after too, and it was cloudy and it was cool and it didn't feel like the type of weather that you would get something like this.
And that's what a lot of people were saying today. However, the Weather Service did have a tornado watch out as of 1 o'clock. So why this time, this year has been very extended in the southeastern part of the country. They had it earlier, and now that kind of potential, that twist in the jet stream has lifted farther north.
We're different, but the last time we had this metro tornado 2 years ago in August, it was a cloudy, cool day, if I recall.
Very similar.
And it was a day that, quite frankly, severe weather, 80s, it's humid, and you just get that sense. And today just did not feel like one of those days. And if you look, and maybe we'll show this a little bit later, if you look at the satellite view, you can clearly see, if you were wondering if there was any
sidewalk there that has pulled up because that massive tree has been taken down. Our Leah sent this one in for us.
Thatcher, but that may be the parent storm that actually created all
So
this
you would have had
damage.
2 touchdowns. That first one, or
We may have had 3, because there's also reports up around Brooklyn Center that we haven't seen yet what the damage is, but that could have been a totally separate tornado with the same little bit of a debris cloud as well, but there it is touching ground and possibly producing some damage southeast of Forest Lake, which we haven't had time to actually. There's a debris cloud. There's definitely debris cloud with that as it